Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me at this Spooky2 Scalar for Beginners webinar. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be able to helping you with understanding Spooky2 Scalar and understanding how to use it. Um, before Okay, so before I start, I will tell you a few things about myself. I'm a Canadian of Romanian origin. I was born and raised in Romania, but for the last 30 years, I've lived in Canada. I'm an engineer, an electronics engineer. I studied industrial electronics with a minor in medical electronics. I have over 40 years of experience and I have a number of patents both in Canada and Romania. I practice martial arts as a way of self-development at all levels, physical, mental, and spiritual. I have achieved the black belt level in a couple of different styles of karate, and over the years I have taught children and teenagers as part of the YMCA program, a program from youth. In order to maintain my health, I practice energy healing arts like Qigong and Reiki. I also teach children and adults to do the same thing. Now, I really believe that the future of medicine is energy healing in both hands-on and equipment-assisted forms. I know that it can not only help to maintain health, but also help one to recover from an unhealthy state. As a result, I have become interested in research subjects like Nicola Tesla, Scalar's energy theory, Royal Rife's mortal oscillation rate, the recent advancement in bio-resonance and biofeedback. I started looking at equipment like Bicom and Hunter Metatron, but unfortunately, most of the equipment on the market was too expensive for personal use. A few years ago, I found out about Spooky2 equipment and about the noble intention of the company to make it available at an affordable price. I immediately bought unused Spooky2 Generator X, then Spooky2 Scalar, and later I have acquired the Spooky2 Center. I am very happy with this investment in my health and well-being. My favorite is Spooky2 Scalar. I like it so much that I decided to share my experience with you, and by the end of this presentation, I hope that you like it too. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this presentation. This presentation was built on the assumption that you have none or little knowledge on Spooky2 Scalar subject. Generally, when I'm presenting with something new, I ask myself three questions. What exactly is this? How can I use this? And why would I use this? Everyone is probably asking themselves the same questions, consciously or not. I could replace this with any of the amazing pieces of energy healing equipment from Spooky2 family, like Rife generators and accessories or plasma units and tubes. However, in the following slides, I will try to answer these questions in regards to the Spooky2 Scalar equipment. So let's start with the first question. What? What is Spooky2 Scalar? In the image, you can see a box labeled Spooky2 Scalar. Before we could answer the main question, what is Spooky2 Scalar, we have to answer two other questions. What exactly is Spooky2? And what does scalar mean? Let's answer them one by one. Albert Einstein made this word famous when he referred to particle quantum entanglement as spooky action at a distance. From then on, in the science world, it became synonymous to something strange, bizarre, uncommon, not enough studied, inexplicable yet, or even inconceivable. In 2013, an international team of electronic engineers, technical designers, software developers, and Rife practitioners chose this name for their range of experimental energy healing devices to reflect exactly these characteristics: new, unusual, unfamiliar, not widely known, not broadly accepted by mainstream science. Something I need to mention at this point is that 2 after the spooky refers to squared, not to a version of software. So let's see about what is scalar. Scalar energy was discovered many years ago, but since then has been largely ignored. Even today, scalar energy is undervalued and underused. James Clerk Maxwell, a Scottish scientist, formulated the theories of electromagnetic radiation and electric and magnetic scalar potentials in the 1860s. Unfortunately, for a long period of time, the scalar aspect of his equations were neglected, being considered both insignificant and useless. Only a while later, Nicola Tesla, a Serbian-American inventor, electrical and mechanical engineer, proved for the first time the existence of the scalar waves in 1899. Because of this, he is considered the father of scalar energy. The famous German-American scientist Albert Einstein also wrote papers on the topic of scalar waves in 1920s that applied them to the gravitational field. In recent times, Professor Dr. Engineer Konstantin Meil, a German scientist, has also studied scalar waves in his vortex theory. Just last week, I read a paper by Shifuer Karega regarding the scalar magnetic waves and Qi based on the research of Professor Meil. So, as you can see, there are a lot of older studies and newer studies regarding the scalar field. Let's try to understand what scalar means. In the image, you have two simple exemplification of the two different type of waves, transverse wave and longitudinal waves. At the top, you have a rope that is tied to a fixed point on the right side and is shaken up and down on the left side. This creates transverse waves in the rope, waves that go up and down like that, perpendicular on the direction of the propagation. Transverse or vectorial waves oscillate perpendicularly on the direction of propagation. At the bottom, there is another spring or a slinky attached again to the right, and that is rapidly pulled or pushed on the left side. This creates longitudinal waves in the springs. Longitudinal or scalar waves oscillate, like in this example, on the direction of propagation. And we'll see that this property makes them very, very special. In the image, you have the propagation mode of the transverse and longitudinal electromagnetic waves. Without being a scientist, you can tell they are quite different. So let's see what properties the scalar waves have that makes them so special, so different. First, they do not radiate as waves, but expand outwards in circles of energy. Because of this, they do not decay over time or distance from their source. Everybody who tuned on a radio and drove like 200 kilometers or more noticed that uh, the radio post that you are listening, it's fading because after a certain distance, the transverse or vectorial waves are decaying. This doesn't happen with the longitudinal or scalar waves. Another thing, um these waves are unbound and capable of passing through a solid matter. Going back to the analogy with the radio in a car, if you pass by a big truck, it may happen that you may lose the signal from your favorite radio station. This is because the transverse waves are absorbed in a big metal mass like the truck. Again, this doesn't happen with the scalar or longitudinal waves. Something else that is particular, they have the capacity to carry information. And we'll discuss a little bit later what kind of information can be carried. Unfortunately, the reason that they were ignored for a time, and even today they are very little known, is that they cannot be measured by the modern day instruments because they were made for transverse electromagnetic waves, not for scalar electromagnetic waves. But we can observe the effects. Scalar energy can happen naturally, but also can be created artificially. Now that we know the meaning of both those strange words, we go back and answer our main question. What is Spooky2 Scalar? Spooky2 Scalar is the newest addition to the family of energy healing devices from Spooky2 team dated 2018. As you can see them in the image, it consists of two units of similar size and shape, one labeled transmitter at the left and the other one labeled receiver at the right side. They also come with a link cable, a cable that connects both boxes, and with the necessary power adapter. So Spooky2 generates a scalar field between the two leads, and let's see how is this happening. In the image, you have two antennas labeled transmitter and receiver. They are identical, they are parallel with each other, and they are facing each other. Between them, we can see the scalar field. Let's see how this field is created. So the transmitter generates a sine signal in the range of 5 to 8 megahertz, and it sends it to the receiver via one wire, the link cable. The receiver inverses the signal and sends it back. The two electromagnetic signals cancel each other, being equal and parallel, and they are leaving only the scalar field in the space between the antennas. Since there is only one wire between the two units, the scalar field ensures the return path for the signals. The scalar field is shaped more or less like a American football or rugby ball. Most scalar devices on the market use placebo effects. However, the field produced by Spooky2 Scalar is strong and the effects are measurable. I will show you later how. It uses analog circuitry to ensure pure sine signals. In order to understand better how the scalar field is generated in the Spooky2 equipment, I will play a little video clip. In this, you will see how two equal and opposite water jets will generate a pattern similar to the scalar field. So we can visualize the electromagnetic scalar waves, but we can see what's happening in the 3D with the water projected by those jets.
When you get done with a shot, it looks like you're growing your own organs in an aquarium. Opening. Go. Oh, I triggered on that. So this is what? This is round how many? 5? 4? 7? We are refilling the tank for the 100-something time. Or should the dog? It's going to work. That is going to work. Oh. I think today might be the day. Got the secondaries. Look at those, man. Wow.
As you could see, if the two water jets are not exactly equal and exactly opposing each other, the pattern does not appear. The same thing is valid for the signal emitted from the transmitter and receiver antenna of the Spooky2 equipment. I think that this small video clip helped to get a visual idea about what's happening between the two leads of the Spooky2 boxes. Okay. We can use this Spooky2 Scalar equipment in a few different ways. First and simplest is the pure scalar mode. There is another one that is called molecular scalar mode, and the last one, but maybe the most important, is Rife scalar mode. Let's talk about those modes one at a time and explain them. Pure scalar mode is the simplest way to benefit scalar energy. This unit can be used by itself. It doesn't require anything else in order to be efficient. Let's see how we can use Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode. So we place the transmitter and the receiver on either side of the chair or a bed. We lie or sit between the two devices and we enjoy the health benefits of the scalar energy. We have to be careful about a few things. First is, it is best not to share the scalar field with anyone who has a serious illness. Second is, pregnant women are not advised to use Spooky2 Scalar because there isn't enough research on this subject. And another one is people that have a pacemaker should not use Spooky2 Scalar. The pacemaker and other sensitive electronic devices may be influenced by the scalar field. Now let's take a closer look at the two boxes. As you can see, the top image, the transmitter has an LCD display, one, three connectors, the link cable 2, the power port 3, and the optional generator port 4. Has also a tuning adjustment knob 5 and a tuning light. There is also very important the transmitter coil, which is the output coil 7, and of course there is an on-off switch. In the bottom image, you can see the transmitter that has only a few components. A link cable port 3, the receiver coil 4, which is the input coil, and the tuning confirmation button and light 5. It also has two storage spaces for the link cable and the power adapter. In the next video, I will explain everything you need to do in order to use Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode. As one of the users was putting it, using Spooky2 Scalar, it's about as hard as using your radio in a car. Okay. Hello everyone. In this video, I will show you how to set up and tune Spooky2 Scalar. First, the setup. Place the transmitter and the receiver on either side of a chair or a bed with the leads facing each other. The minimum recommended distance between the two units is 6 feet or 2 meters, but you can place them farther apart. For demonstration purpose only, in this video they are placed closer together. Connect the power adapter to the power port of the transmitter and plug it into the outlet. Plug one end of the link cable in the link port of the transmitter and the other end in the link port of the receiver. That's all the necessary setup. Now we have to do the tuning. Turn on the transmitter by rotating clockwise the switch knob. Then tune the transmitter by rotating counterclockwise the tuning adjustment knob till the tuning light reaches the maximum luminosity. This is the scalar tuning point that you need to create a healing scalar field. The frequency of the transmitter generator is shown on the display. The scalar tuning point has a broad range of frequency and depends on the environment and the layout of the units and cable between them. In this case, is 6 MHz, but it could be anywhere between 5 and 8 MHz. If you continue to turn the tuning knob counterclockwise after reaching the scalar tuning point, the tuning light will start diminishing and then will reach a second maximum brightness point. This lower frequency maximum is the EMF tuning point that creates a harmful electromagnetic field. You must always look for the first tuning point each time you use Spooky2 Scalar. If you want to verify the presence of the scalar field, you can press the button on the receiver. A ring of light will appear around the bottom. Make sure you press the button again to turn off the light. If you leave it on, it will reduce the power of the scalar field. Now, all you have to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the healing energy. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Okay. I hope the sound was okay, strong enough. I will talk a little bit about some details necessary to understand, to use better the Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode. So make sure that two leads are facing each other as parallel as possible. It will work even if the leads are not perfectly parallel, but the scalar field will be slightly weaker and the shape will not be so symmetrical. The minimum recommendation for the distance between the two leads is 6 feet, but you can place them further apart. I heard from people who are covering the whole house from basement to the attic, and everything is working well. Another thing is maintain at least 1.5, preferably 2 feet from the transmitter and 1 foot from the receiver in order to minimize the EMF effect. Make sure your body is centered as much as possible within the two devices in order to maximize the effect of the scalar field on your body. If, let's say, only your hands or only your feet are in the field do not have the same effect as if most of your body is in the field. If the supplied link cable isn't long enough for your intended application, you can extend it using an available scalar link cable extension and or one of the extending link cables. They have a couple of different sizes. On the other hand, if the link cable is too long, please do not coil it. This will take power from the field. Just leave it loose. Another thing is try to keep the link cable outside of the scalar field and far from metals and concrete walls. This may reduce the power of the scalar field, but will not cancel it. It will still work. Okay, it's about this one. Let's talk about the second mode you can use the scalar field, the molecular scalar mode. The healing effect of the scalar signals can be enhanced by placing a substance on the receiver coil, the input coil, as you can see in the image on the right side. The molecules within the sample will modulate the signal between the leads. This way, you get the curative effect of the chemical without physically taking that substance. The substance can be essential oils, homeopathic remedies, natural supplements, or even drugs. For instance, you can place peppermint oil on the receiver coil and you receive the benefits that peppermint oil provides. The procedure for molecular scalar mode is identical with the one for pure scalar mode that you have already seen. One recommendation though, perform the tuning with the sample already on the receiver coil. In case you added the sample after the tuning, it is better to retune the system since the sample will slightly modify the tuning frequency. Another way to use molecular scalar mode is by placing on the receiver coil a sample of the poisoned pathogen or tumor cells. Like in the healing mode, the molecules within the sample will modulate the signal between the leads. The information of the dying cells is passed to your internal pathogens or cancer cells, which will also die. This method was validated scientifically in 2018 using Spooky2 equipment. And now let's go to the last and maybe the most important mode of the scalar, Spooky2 Scalar, which is Rife scalar mode. Another way to enhance the healing effect of the scalar waves is through Rife modulation. This method combines Royal Rife's discoveries with Nikola Tesla's. Royal Rife found that pathogens respond to a particular frequency named mortal oscillation rate, or MOR. Spooky2 Scalar can apply this frequency using healing scalar waves. These methods turn Spooky2 Scalar into the world's most advanced Rife machines. Only Spooky2 Scalar can modulate Royal Rife's original frequencies. In order to do this, use the scalar with one of the Spooky2 generators, either Gen X or XM generator. In the image, you see the generator X between the two boxes. Let's take a quick look at both generators. So first the XM generator. Originally, the XM generator had the capability to be used in standalone mode, which means without being connected to a computer. In this mode, we can control it with the buttons situated next to the display. These buttons are power switch 1, F1 F change function buttons 2, the rotary knob 3, the TTL input output 4, the external input 5, and the channel controls 6. While all these buttons are useful in research mode, they are impractical for our application. So, except for the power switch, do not touch the controls. Spooky2 software does everything you need the generator X to do. Now let's see how the other generator, the generator X, looks like. As I said, generator X has the capability to be used in standalone mode, which means without being connected to a computer. In this mode, we need to control it with the buttons situated next to the display. These buttons are power button 1, J1, J2 generator selection buttons 2, up and down arrows for program selection 3, start button 4, loop button 5, and stop button 6. In the next video, I will show you how to use these controls. But before that, let's see what are the advantages and disadvantages of using Gen X in standalone mode compared to using one of the two generators in computer-assisted mode. So the advantages of standalone mode are simpler setup, you don't need a computer, require less space, and frees the PC from any other application. The disadvantages are there is a limited number of programs that you can put inside. The number of programs is 30. You can put anytime any new programs, but you have to override the old ones. Some more advanced programs that requires complicated calculations that are done by the computer can be run in standalone mode, like programs that need frequency sweeps, amplitude sweeps, and things like that. The generator cannot perform these calculations. So this is another limitation of a standalone mode of the generator X. Um, Compared to this, if we use any of the two generators, either XM generator or generator X, in computer-assisted mode, you have the advantage of unlimited number of program. Any program you can find or you can conceive yourself can be run using the computer and the software. And the second, all programs, it doesn't matter how complicated they are, like the frequency sweep, amplitude sweeps, and things like that, can be run on the Generator X when connected on the PC. Obviously, the disadvantages are the setup is slightly more complicated, requires a little bit more space, and blocks the PC for this application for the duration of the treatment. Now let's see the movie that I promised that I talked about earlier.
Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how to set up Spooky2 Scalar in Rife Scalar mode using a generator X in standalone mode. First you have to set up Spooky2 Scalar in pure scalar mode, the way I have already showed you in a previous video. Then place the generator X close enough to the Spooky2 transmitter in order to be able to connect them, but make sure it is not in the scalar field. Connect the power adapter to the power port of generator X and plug it into the outlet. Plug one end of the BNC cable into the out 1 of G1 and the other end into the BNC port of the Spooky2 scalar transmitter. That's all the necessary setup. Now you have to turn on Spooky2 and do the tuning of Spooky2 Scalar as we did it in case of pure scalar mode. Then turn on the transmitter by pressing the power button. Select the desired generator, G1 in this case. Use the up and down arrows to select one of the programs already saved in generator X. Then press the start button once to get G1 ready. Press the start button a second time to run the program once, or press the loop button to run the programs continuously until you stop it. If the programs contain low frequency like this one, 5.9 Hz, you will notice that the tuning light of the Spooky2 scalar is blinking. At higher frequencies there will be no blinking. Now all you need to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the Rife scalar healing energy. Thank you for watching this video.
Okay, so now let's see how we can use the Spooky2 equipment in the computer-assisted mode using a laptop and generator X. As you can see in the image, in order to create a Rife scalar field, you need the two scalar boxes, the transmitter and the receiver, the generator X or the XM generator. In the image, I used the XM generator. Actually, at the time when I did the presentation for the first time, I didn't own XM generator, but now I used one for this as well. And you need a computer also, in this case a laptop, that has the Spooky2 software installed on it. In the last slide, you'll have references, and they will tell you from where to download the software if you don't have it already installed on your computer. So let's see now how we can use this Spooky2 Scalar using the computer and the Spooky2 software. I will show you two different ways to use the software. The first way, it's using pre-loaded presets that has already programs in it, and the second one is making your own program starting from an empty shell, an empty preset, and using your program that you need to create. So let's watch it.
Hello everyone. In this video I will show you how to use Spooky2 Scalar in Rife Scalar mode using a generator and Spooky2 software. For this you can use any of the two Spooky2 generators, but in this video I will use generator X. First you have to set up Spooky2 Scalar in Rife Scalar mode the way I have already showed you in the previous video. The only difference is that you will have to place the computer, a laptop in this case, close to generator X and connect them using the supplied USB cable. Make sure that neither the laptop nor the generator is in the scalar field. Once everything is set in place, turn on and tune the Spooky2 scalar and turn on generator X. At this point, launch the Spooky2 software. Usually it takes a little while to search for generators, to load a database and the encyclopedia. On my computer it takes about 1 minute, but it could take several minutes on a different computer. The Spooky2 software opens in the Presets tab. The first thing you will need to do is to go to the Control tab and verify that the software recognized your generator. In this case, because generator X is a dual generator, the software recognized two generators and assigned them the port number 3 and number 4. Since you have connected the out1 of G1 generator to the Spooky2 scalar, you will have to check the port number of that generator on generator X display. In this case, as you can see, is port number 4. Also, you may notice that the network sign highlighted with an ellipse is white, which means that the generator X is connected to the computer and it is recognized by the Spooky2 software. Now let's go back to the software. Go to Presets tab and choose a preset. For example, you can go to Heal, Scalar, and select Spooky Scalar Healing SS-JW. Then click the arrow down to add it to the preset chain. Since the preset contains already programs, when you go to the Programs tab, you can see them in the Loaded Programs window. You don't need to do anything here. However, you may notice that the repeat chain value is set to 0. This means that the chain will repeat itself indefinitely. Because this preset is made especially for Spooky2 Scalar, you do not need to modify anything in the Settings tab either. You go to the Control tab, click Override Generators, and select Generator button number 4. The button changes its color to brown. Also, you can see all the frequencies of the program in the Frequencies window. Finally, you click Start, Generator buttons becomes green, and you can follow the progress of the program in percentage under the number of the generator's port. You can pause or stop the program at any point by clicking the appropriate button. When the program finishes to run the last frequency, it jumps back to the first frequency and continues to run. You can stop it at any time by clicking the stop button. The generator buttons becomes brown again. Let's see now what you can do in case you want to run a preset that doesn't come preloaded with the software. You go to Presets tab and choose Shell Empty Presets, Scalar, Spooky Scalar General SS-JW. As you can see, there aren't any programs in this preset, so you have to add your own program. Go to the Programs tab and choose a program. For example, you type chakra in the search box and click Search button. In the list of programs that appears, you select the Chakra Balance program. You can click on the plus button, or you can double-click on the program to add it to the Loaded Programs window. If you want to loop the program indefinitely, you set the repeat sequence to 0. If not, you leave it 1. If we go back to the Presets tab, you will notice that the program was loaded in the empty preset. Since this empty preset was created specifically for Spooky2 Scalar, you do not need to modify anything in the Settings tab. You go directly to the Control tab, click Override Generators, and then select Generators number 4. The generator button becomes brown like before. As before, you can see all the frequencies in the programs in the Frequencies window. Then you click Start and the generator button becomes green. As in the previous case, you can pause the program or you can stop it at any time by clicking the appropriate button. The program will run each frequency for 3 minutes. When the program finishes to run the last frequency, it will stop by itself. The generator button will become brown again. Now all you need to do is lie down or sit in the scalar field and enjoy the Rife scalar healing energy. Thank you for watching this video. Hello.
Okay, I hope that this video explains how the Spooky2 software can be used to control either generator XM or generator X using the laptop. Now that we saw all three methods in which you can use the scalar energy, I will show you another possible use. You can further enhance the effects of the scalar treatment by imprinting a glass of water with molecular and or Rife frequencies. This type of water is called energized, structured, or activated water. For this, you place a glass of water on the transmitter, which is the output coil, during any of the three modes, pure, molecular, or Rife scalar treatments. After you place the glass on the transmitter coil, you need to retune the Spooky2 scalar before the treatment, or you do the tuning with the glass already there. When you finish the scalar treatment, you can drink this water during the day to enhance the effects of the treatment. Do not share the water with anybody else. If you wish to gift somebody else with frequency imprinted water, you must go through the process in an empty scalar field, so nobody in the field. If that person it's intended for is not there, is not available. And something else. So you can combine, as you saw, you can put connect a generator, Spooky2 generator to the Spooky2 transmitter. You can put a small saucer with a few vitamin, minerals, or whatever supplements you need on the receiver coil, and you can put the water container on the transmitter coil. In order to imprint like a half a liter of water, you need about 10-15 minutes. This was proven to be enough. Okay, so now that we saw um, what Spooky2 Scalar is and how we can use it. Let's see why some people will use it. Let's see what Spooky2 Scalar users are saying about this. Let's see what are the benefits. Some of the main benefits of the scalar field on the human body are: it charges the mitochondria. Mitochondria is the energy center of the body cells. And by doing this, it's doing two things: increases the energy level of every cell in the body to the ideal 70 millivolts necessary for mitosis. And secondly, it boosts the overall energy level of the body. Something else, it protects the DNA by increasing the energy level of hydrogen bonding between the complementary base pairs, which provides greater stability for DNA. Greater stability for DNA means two things: slowing down aging and helping with recovery after trauma. Another thing, it stimulates cell growth in human immune system. And this stimulates our natural immune function to kill viruses and bacteria and protects our body from cancer and disease like that. Also, the scalar fields improves cell wall permeability, which is doing two things again. It's facilitating the intake of nutrients and facilitating the elimination of waste and toxins from the cell. And one important thing, improves the chylomicron level in blood serum, which is something that increases the fluidity of the blood. This will do for us a couple of good things. It cleanses the blood, unclams blood cells, and improves the blood circulation. And last but maybe very important things, support communication between cells. This will help improve the memory and mental focus and will reduce stress and will function as a natural antidepressant. Restore the natural health state of the body, reduces pain and inflammation, speeds up natural healing and recovery after disease, surgeries, and injuries. There are many other benefits that derive from the main ones. For example, the fact that it unclamps blood cells will reduce the risk of stroke. Okay, okay. Let's mention just a little bit a few studies that were done, especially in the last three decades, on the benefits of scalar field on human body. So 1989, Stanford University Medical Center, Stanford, California, was a study the effect on non-Hertzian scalar waves on the immune system. 2001-2003, Masaru Emoto with Robert Lloyd and Elena Riley studied on scalar field structured water. 2012, Dr. Konstantin Meil, DNA and cell resonance, magnetic scalar waves enable cell communication, and cell communication explained by field physics. And 2018, I already mentioned, the Institute of Cell Biology in Europe used the Spooky2 Scalar to validate a few theories. They studied the effect of scalar fields on cancer. The first phase of the study spanned over 3 months, November-December 2018, and used the Spooky2 Scalar equipment. The aim of the study was to establish if it is possible to kill cancer cells using a predetermined resonant frequency and scalar energy waves. The study concluded that after an exposure to the scalar field for hours or days in some cases, a significant inhibition of the cancer cells occurred, regardless the method they used. Okay, before going further, just take a short moment to see where Spooky2 Scalar is in the complex of Spooky2 health equipment. So, as you can see, you have two different branches that are pretty much independent. The first one is based on Rife theories of killing pathogens and entrainment. And the second one is based on scalar field theories of Nicola Tesla's. So on the left, you have two different ways to use the two generators, either XM generator or generator X, Spooky2 Boost and Spooky2 Plasma. If you use Spooky2 Boost, you can connect to it a few different accessories: contact, PAMF, cold laser, remote, or you can use Plasma to light up a couple of different plasma tubes. So all this will do very well the killing part and also the entrainment part of the process. The most efficient one is the plasma. This actually was the method used by Rife himself in 1930s to heal 16 cancer patients. He healed uh, uh, 12 of them in 3 months. They were declared cancer-free, and after another month, he modified a little bit the program, and he healed the remaining 4. So 16 out of 16 were healed in 4 months by him using the plasma uh, generator and the plasma tubes. On the other side, you have the Spooky2 Scalar that can be used in pure scalar and molecular scalar mode without needing any generator, without needing anything else. But if you want, you can combine the two methods and use one of the two generators and connect it to the Spooky2 Scalar, and then you use it in Rife scalar mode. This one will do the best of both worlds. It will be very good at killing pathogen and entrainment, but also is providing by itself an healing of life-sustaining energy. Okay, so let's see what Spooky2 Scalar can do for you if it happens that you or somebody that you know has some severe problems. People who benefit most from the use of Spooky2 Scalars are those with severe health problems. Some people fight for their life because of the life-threatening disease like cancer. Other people are fighting debilitating diseases like Morgellons, Lyme disease, or multiple sclerosis. Others are constantly struggling with chronic diseases like diabetes, congestive cardiac failure, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and others. Occasionally, people are affected by a cold, influenza, or SARS contamination. Some other times, they are subject to a pathogen infestation like candida or mold. Nowadays, a lot of people have allergies, not only to specific food, but also to allergens that they can't avoid in the air or water. This condition can be reduced or even eliminated using Spooky2 Scalar. Let's see some of the testimonials. My little aches and pains have gone. My blood pressure is down by 10 to 15 points. 7 years of toenail fungus was gone by using Spooky2 Scalar. I had an infection in my tooth and jawbone. It cleared up. The severe pain caused by facial neuralgia disappeared. My mom has stage 4 cancer, and her pH level went up after using molecular scalar for 1 day. I was able to reduce tumor in my saliva gland by at least 90%. I had a blood test and a brain scan. There was no indication of cancer. And after the third week of treatment, she, talking about the mom, she went to the hospitals for a pre-screening. Staff became nervous. They did not find any tumor anymore. In conclusion, it's not our imagination. Of course, a positive attitude will help, as one user said. All these were like real testimonials. Now, let's see what's happening if you don't have any major health problem. But everybody has minor issues. We are under constant attack from the environment. Our food, water, air can contain toxic substances and pathogens. So detoxing is something that health-conscious people should do on a regular basis. Age can come with some common problems like vision and hearing deterioration or hair loss. These are things that can be corrected in time by using Spooky2 Scalar in all three modes. The young and the old alike are exposed to tooth and gum decay. The health of our mouth is of high importance for the health of our entire body. So this can be helped too with scalar technology. Middle-aged people are prone to chronic sleep deprivation, mostly because of the stress at work and or at home. A lot of people found a solution by using Spooky2 Scalar. There are many other minor health problems that can be prevented by using Spooky2 technology. It is like giving a glass of water to somebody walking into the desert. Let's see some other testimonials. I feel better, get up with more energy, have more energy during the day, and better attitude. Fingernails grow very fast, which is a sign of health. My fingernails seem stronger. Our hair is returning darker again. My hair seems to be growing faster. I feel more supple again, like I used to. A number of people have told me I look much younger. The age spots on my arms and hands have all gone away. We use the same vitamins, drugs, herbs, etc. over and over by imprinting water. My hearing has improved. Every time I'm in the field, I get very sleepy. It helps me sleep. But let's see if you don't have any problem at all. This scalar, it's the best use of scalar would be for prevention. Do not forget that scalar energy by itself to this range of frequency has a life-sustaining quality. So it's energizing your entire body, giving the small amount that is missing for the maintenance programs. Like on one hand, our food, water, air do not have all the nutritional qualities and energy that we need. And on the other hand, we're exposed to high level of stress and emotional trauma daily. In the process, we divert a part of our energy to fight all these battles and we allocate less energy to maintenance programs like healing and minor battles with pathogens. A little boost of sustaining energy would be able to compensate for this. People can use for prevention Rife scalar mode using chakra balancing or meridian stimulating programs. Also, organ entrainment programs provide a healthy frequency for any of the organs to improve their health. People can also use either Rife or molecular scalar modes to supply their body with benefits of minerals, vitamins, or supplements their body needs. I will talk a little bit about my own experience. The reason I started using Spooky2 Scalar is prevention. I have had it for almost 2 years now. I started in what we call the healing room, where we have a massage table. Both my wife and myself are using Spooky2 Scalar for at least 1 hour a day. Occasionally we remain in the scalar field multiple hours, or we even sleep in the field. At first, we use it only in pure scalar mode, the simplest possible mode. Since I am a Qigong practitioner and a Reiki master, I am very sensitive to Qi, the life force energy. I try to see if I can feel the scalar field with my hand, and to my satisfaction, I did. More than that, I was able to confirm the size of the scalar field at the center. I laid in the field and I felt it in all my body vibrating. The sensation was similar to the one during a Reiki session, only stronger. I tried to practice internal Qigong while in the field, and again, I felt the energy more powerfully than during a regular practice. I am also entering in a meditative state more easily while I am in the scalar field. Because of those powerful sensations, I cannot really sleep in the scalar field. On the other hand, my wife loves to sleep in the field. She sleeps better and she wakes up more energized. We then started to use Spooky2 Scalar in molecular scalar mode. We used essential oils, vitamins, supplements on the receiver coil. We put a bottle of filtered water on the transmitter coil and we drink it during the day. Lately, we started to use the Spooky2 Scalar in Rife mode. I selected a number of programs that can be run in standalone mode on the generator X, like chakra balancing, organs and meridians, essential micronutrients, and so on, to help with general healing. As I do not have any significant medical problems, I haven't had any spectacular results after using Spooky2 Scalar. What my wife and I noticed though is that our nails grow faster and stronger, our hair grows faster and darker, both signs of improved health according to the traditional Chinese medicine. Our optometrist was very pleased at the last annual visit with the state of our eye health. We are both more energized. We noticed that some age spots on the hands faded or disappeared, and some of our friends that we see once in a while have told us that we look younger. Occasionally, we use all three modes and the structured water to help our children and grandchildren. As I already have told you at the beginning, my wife and I are doing a lot of things to maintain and improve our health. We are sure that the daily use of Spooky2 Scalar is one of the best ways to help us to maintain our health. Now is the question and answer section. Somebody said that if after a presentation there aren't any questions, there are two possible explanations. Either everybody understood everything or nobody understood anything. I hope it's the first one, but I don't believe it is. Let's see some of the common questions regarding the Spooky2 scalar that we have encountered in the past. Can Spooky2 scalar be used for people with metal implants or stents in the veins? Yes, Spooky2 scalar will not interfere with any metal implants since the scalar field passes straight through metal without being affected. It can also be used for people with stents in the veins. Another question. Can I work on my computer or use the phone while staying in the scalar field? Yes, but you may need to retune the units. Any new device added in the field will slightly alter the tuning point. Even if the answer is yes, my personal recommendation is to try to use some me time in the field, meditating or just relaxing without doing any other activity. Another question, can I be in the scalar field while imprinting frequency into the water? Yes, the water will be tailor-made for you since it also contains the natural frequencies of your body and the effect of the scalar field had on it. Another question, why does the tuning light of the transmitter blink when running programs in Rife scalar mode? The generator frequency turns on and off the scalar signal. The eyes can perceive the blinks only at low frequencies like Schumann, 7.83 Hz. As we go about 24 Hz, which is the frequency of the movie frames, the eyes can't perceive anymore the flickering of the light. We'll just perceive a slight dimming of the light. Another question, very important, can I run another program on remote while staying in the scalar field? Yes, of course, you can run any other programs on remote, PMF, or cold laser while staying in the scalar field. Now, if you have any other question, I will try to answer them at the best of my ability. But before doing so, I want to put leave here this page with resources. You have a lot of places on a few websites that Spooky2 has, and with a lot of resources, and also you have a few different Facebook groups that contain people who are motivated and knowledgeable, and they are doing all their best to answer any question you may have regarding the equipment. And in case this is still not enough, you have at the bottom my email address. I will be gladly answering your question via email in the limit of the time that I have. And now, please give me a few moments. I will try to go. Okay, I have a question here. If you are sitting in a chair and your feet are on the floor, not directly between the scalar transmitter and receiver, do your legs still receive the scalar wave benefits? So there is a ratio. The size of the scalar field in the middle, it's half of the distance between the receiver and transmitter. So if you have 6 feet, you have 3 feet in the middle. If you are staying on a chair, most probably the upper body will be in a field, maybe even the upper side of the legs, not at the lower side. But your entire body is energized. Uh, of course, it's better if all the body is in the field, but even if it's only a portion, a part of the body in the field, it will have great benefits on your health. Does the scalar make any noise while in use? No, is not. There is no noise at all. Like a lot of people are able to sleep, including my wife, with the scalar one. Can you place the scalar between a couch and the body? And the body is blown by the couch. As I said at the beginning, the scalar waves can penetrate anything, metal, couch, it doesn't matter what. So he can even use one box in one room and the other box in a different room. But if you align them and you are able to tune them up correctly, and you are in the middle, you receive the benefits of scalar waves. One of the benefits of having the scalar boxes farther apart is that while the distance between increases, also the diameter of the scalar field increases. So whenever you move in the house in that area, you receive the benefits of the scalar field. So what is the definition of serious disease that you are recommending not to be used for? Okay, a misunderstanding. It is useful for any disease. It doesn't matter how severe they are. It is not recommended to use it for two people if one of them is very sick and the other one is healthy. That's all. So there is no proof that the cancer will pass from one person to the other one if both of them are in the scalar field. But some people are saying that uh, they may start to share some symptoms. How long the scalar effects last? Okay, is a way to answer is it how long do you feel full after a good meal? Depends on everybody. Depends on everybody. For me, I found out that my energy needs are satisfied with 40 minutes to 1 hour of staying in Scalar a day. But occasionally, when I'm low energetically, I will stay more hours there. And I, I just observe your body, watch your body. Your body will tell you, I've got enough. Be like a cat. You pat a cat, after a while, she leaves and goes. Why? Because she got enough. Okay, do the same thing. Observe your body and see how much energy you need. Everybody is different. My energy needs and my wife energy needs are different, and I'm pretty sure everybody else's energy needs out there is different. So you have to be your own judge on this. Uh, there is a problem if you have metal in the mouth, like dental work. As I said, any kind of implants, dental, like chirurgical or even stents, will not affect the scalar field. So it's safe and doesn't affect at all the field and the effect of the field on yourself. So I think I answered knee replacement, the same thing. Okay, somebody asked what happens if the client has a heart pacemaker or a device implant, such as tip for detecting sugar levels. So the factory recommendation is not to use it for people with electronic implants. Anything that is electrical and it's inside your body, maybe it doesn't mean that it will, but maybe affected by the scalar field, and nobody wants to take the risk regarding all the other metal implants, regardless the way they are, the place where they are. The scalar field will go through them and will not be affected. Does the person have to be present between the generator and receiver? Can you distance scalar to someone in another location? I do not have an answer to this question. I know that people are using scalar for the wall house or for a small garden. The problem with spreading the transmitter and the receiver too much apart is the tuning. So first of all, you need a link cable between the two, and secondly, you need to be able to see that uh, the receiver is in sync and reversed with the transmitter. I showed you in the movie how. So I don't see how this can be feasible if you place it in a different house. But with a little bit of ingenuity, may be possible. As we remember, as long as you can still tune the two devices together, the field will just grow bigger in diameter with the distance between the two boxes. Thank you very much, everybody. I tried to answer as many questions as I could. Thank you again to everybody for being present here, and thank you to those who expressed their the fact that they liked the presentation, and I hope to see you to the next presentation in about a month. Thank you and have a good day. Goodbye.